Howdy, Bud John. It is Texas the 8th of April 2018. This is about what I call Brother John's workshop, my workshop. It's an online workshop, obviously. It's not like a woodworking shop or a painter's studio or something like that, but it's my place and way to share with supporters that where I'm at, what's up, and what's in the works. And supporters would include intercessors, advisors, donors, um, uh, accountability partners, anybody that I might invite to come there. And so it's like, okay, let's go there. This is a thought that keeps bubbling around, so let's share that right now. I made 7 videos this evening. And I could make and I made 7 videos a few days ago. And and because it's brand new for me in my little world, I made videos before and I've shared videos before and got very little or no response, no views at all, 0 views or 1 view or something like that. But it's necessarily important for me to get used to this. It's kind of like pianists playing scales or violin player playing the same songs or the Christmas carols or the guitar player. It's like practice. So I'm practicing. I'm getting better. I get over some of my internal angst, but still, I do really. So it's a faith thing, a faith challenge to believe that somebody's really going to watch this and want to watch it and want to watch all of these. And again, I've said before, and I'll say again that I make it as a video, and that's all fine. And what I may do, I just thought of that. I may hook up also have an audio player over there. I may hook up that in the future to record it simultaneously. Um, but this could just as well be a video, an audio, like a podcast. And people are more podcast oriented, like with the commuting. I mean, I am not in the world where I commute a lot. I used to long ago. Uh, but some people are on the highway a lot, or on the airplanes a lot, or airports a lot, or Lord knows mowing the grass or weeding the garden, and so I could be talking to them. And so that's what I would suggest these are more for. Seeing my hands moving like they are right now, that's nice. It's good. It's interesting, but it's not necessary to the message. So I'm trying to make it easier on you. I'm not saying don't watch. I'm just saying because of I know that my audience is very crazy, complicated lives. About the workshop, how that relates to accountability, it's kind of like to say there are many things that are in my mind now, and in my files now, and in my heart now, and as they start to come out, I will share where I'm at with them because there'll be a process, researching and organizing, preparing and a draft, have a beta testing, and I'll go through the phases of that, and particularly like in particularly, there's 2 huge pieces that are coming out very soon. Kind of scary. I've known for a long time that I need to quit doing all the preparing and researching and planning and start to act and take risks and put it out there and stumble and fumble and but one of them is relates to the MOOC, which is a massive ongoing online course about the Gospels. What's the title of it? Let's Embrace the Gospels. The subtitle is Why and How to Know Jesus Christ Better, and that lasts from June, July, August of 2018. But before that, to do that well and even move forward with this, I need to enroll a lot of prayer. And to do that, I want to offer those who pray and intercede fuel and value and goodness and help and encouragement. And I have lots and lots of things about prayer that came over the years. I was going to do my first MOOC on prayer, but I don't think that's best. I may yet, but not best. So as I present the prayer things, some are done and finished and polished and ready for the public. Some are in different states of preparation and perfection and polishing, and some are in the um, outline rough course state, and they all are going to go through this pipeline until they're out there, and then there'll be the whole marketing, serving, customer service issue. But I want to open the doors to most, not every single particle, but most of my workshop. And so here's a story to go with that. I'm not a big storyteller, but stories sometimes are really illustrate. This is one of the coolest times of my whole life was in a workshop. Um, I was in the Bahamas, sailing in the Bahamas in college, either high school or college. I think it was college. Yeah, because I went to the Bahamas 3 times. It was not the first year. It was not the first time. It was the second or third time. Area we went to called Abaco, and Abaco, we were told there's this man who's a sculptor who lives at a certain location. He told the location, a certain island, and if you take your sailboat up to his dock and you ring the bell, then and walk up. His house is way high on a hill, high like my hand is way up high, and his workshop's down here. And so you ring the bell, and if he's there and he wants to, he will walk down to his workshop and let you in. And you get to look around. And he likes to. It's like an artist would like to show his stuff. And it's not a showroom. It's a workshop. It's a legitimate, straight up sculptor's workshop. So, and he had different projects at different stages of development, which is like, wow, to see how. And so there's some finished pieces, a whole lot of partial, some starts, and you could see his how he got to the end, because some of the so he kind of tweaked and changed. So he had so it's like fascinating, totally fascinating, and it's free. And I'm sure that through that he got to have some context and fellowship. He probably sold some things to some of the folks. So it was well worth a while. He lived there on this island doing his sculpture. I'm sure he has some way to get to the tourist Nassau to Salomon, make some serious money, but he let us come there and look around. That's a bunch of college kids. So that's what I want. I want to invite y'all into my workshop to see these things some kind of way, virtually. And there'll come a time when they'll go into beta testing. Beta testing is that's where you go find some folks that say, hey, yo, I've come as far as I can with this, and I'm going to share it with some selected folks and ask you to give me your comments and suggestions and questions and feedback and critiques and edits, and so I might make it better. And then make it better, and then put it in the real wide open public. So we'll be beta testing, even before beta testing, and part of this is to say, and I've also seen some online people that do vlogging or teaching online full time and make a living at that. They will sometimes say, I have these 3 different things I've begun or working or considering. So y'all vote, and the one that gets the most votes is the one that I will work on. So it's kind of like a way of testing the market, but even before you throw all your time and energy into making, because a really good video production takes a lot of energy, a lot of time. And if people don't want it, then, or if they really want it, you can tell, you kind of like a preview how well it might go. So might do something like that in my workshop. And I will differently, similar and different, I will say on these lenses, I have several different lenses. Like I said before, there's a lens of the family. So I talk about my physical world, my housing and health and eating and clothes and just the stuff to keep the body going, right? And then the friend, which is this, is kind of like my internal world. And then the minister is my teachings. So there'll be teachings there that are being processed. And then the online communities, and I want to start a bunch of them. I can, and in doing that, really, really important, is not just starting them, but raise up leaders that will keep them going, um, and for them to be self-supporting and self-regulating and be autonomous. But somehow I'm involved somehow. It's kind of like, well, I guess what I see myself a lot is kind of like, in the movie, there's a producer, the director, the actors, and all the crew, right? So I'd be like the producer that says, this is a great idea, but somebody has got to run with this ball and come to me and I'll solve your problems and we'll work out things. But the director or the overseer or the supervisor or the shepherd of that whatever online community, that's their world. I don't have the time, energy, inclination to stay there. Like with parenting, I care a lot about parenting, a lot, and I'll get more into that later. One of the threads that I want to go into is what I call parents' prayer prompts. Parenting is so essential. But not a parent, I'm certainly not going to oversee it, but I want to facilitate that to happen, like as a producer would do. So that would be kind of in the workshop. Um, uh, not just well, there's a bunch of so. I want to have one that deals with um, people that could come together and deal with doctrine and theology in a cross-denominational way to deal with the tough issues of our time and throughout the centuries, to thrash those things out in a civil way, and to hear and to respond to the different viewpoints about end times, about assurance of salvation, about what there's lots of issues that need to be considered. They've divided churches and divided denominations and people. And let's come together. But I'm not. I want to facilitate that, but I want to participate a little in that. And I want to kind of get it going, but I'm not going to keep it going because that just would swamp me. Um, I want to do one. I'm going to do a MOOC. I think I want to also do it on a community about language. Let's say language. I mean like to really understand the Bible, you need to understand language. Like what is love? That's right. Or grace, or mercy, or forgiveness, or redemption, or omniscience, omnipotence, omnipresence, or envy, or jealousy, or rage, or wrath of God, or fear of God. There's so many things. The language of that needs to be addressed and considered, reflected upon in a holistic, careful, thoughtful, prayerful way. And I want to start it, but I can't keep. So I want to find somebody that will take the language ball and run with that. Um, Prayer, one that's just about, the prayer group that I want to start. Let's just say this out loud. I don't want to be involved with current events or politics or celebrity gossip or all that muckety muck that's in the news. Everybody's all tangled up in that. I think they're missing the boat. We're not praying for um, uh, other issues, the mission field, or other issues about evangelism, discipleship, Bible distribution, Bible translation, kingdom work. And somebody later, if we can learn how to do a really good group about these eternal spiritual issues, somebody maybe somebody, not me, can go and deal with all those news stuff that's got everybody all jazzed. It had me jazzed, and I just I ain't got no energy for all that no more. So I see communities, but I want to start them. But as like a producer, there are people who produce movies, but they can produce 2 or 3 movies or more, but they're not spending all their. But the director has to be there all the time. Um, and investment. So the investment is about. There's a lot of stuff about that. So with that, it's like I won't go into it, but it's big, crazy, complicated. Let's just leave it at that. So how to deal with language and translations and audio and video, and how to deal with benevolence, how to deal with again 7 generations. How can we take what has been legitimate good, the goodness of Christianity, not the pedophilia, not the arguing and backbiting and gossip and the self righteousness and the pettiness and the racism. What is the goodness of Christianity that will and character development, um, leadership development, um, self disciplines, spiritual disciplines, which are habits, for God's sakes. How can we understand those and synthesize, summarize those, capsulize those in digital ways with the view that we're going to not put in a time capsule that'll be open in 150 years, but how can we take that to those that are receptive and interested in India and Africa and Asia, and Latin America and Canada and even America, uh, in the different languages, and culturally appropriate, because parenting in the U.S. is unlike parenting in other countries. Um, so how can we be responsible before God to pass on what's been passed to us? We have been so blessed to receive so much, and there's those that are out there starving for what we have. We've got to pass it to them using digital technologies. And as we do it to them, and particularly as we have to emphasize parenting, which necessitates good marriage, but parenting, then that will get to the next generation. Therefore, it will percolate to more generations. You see? Yeah, see? So a whole lot of workshop work going on with that. That will be in all different stages and phases of development. And I'll be asking a lot of prayers for leaders, for volunteers, for advisors, for money, for technology, for whatever introductions. It's really complicated, and like I said in the previous video, it's kind of like I wish it was much smaller, much simpler. But if it was, I think it's the whole thing about Gideon. You know, um, if I had a really big army, then I think that I had done it. But God's got to do it, or it ain't gonna get done. And so that's my big, hairy goal, audacious goal. I think I finished. Feels like it. Yep, finished. So see, I want to be organic like that. I want to know what I finish and finish. So I think what the teacher says what the best way to finish is to do a quick summary of a few highlights, and let that be your wrap up. So the highlight is that one way that I hold myself accountable is through opening the doors to my workshop, my online digital virtual workshop. And I don't think I'll open it to the public. That would be just a little bit crazy because there's a lot of cuckoos out there that want to come in and disrupt and act stupid. No, not the public. No. But by invitation to selected people with terms, if you act disrespectful or crazy, then you're band. Because there, I believe, I have faith that this is going to go and grow really, really big, and kind of scares me how big it'll grow, but I got to get over my fears, because I'm going to ask people to volunteer their time. Give your time, give your energy, give your money, give your prayers. Introduce me to your pastor. Pray for me. Spend time praying. So I'm asking them to give, and I want them to see what they're giving to. I want them to I want them to have a sense of that it doesn't just magically pop out the end. Done. No, it doesn't just it goes through this, and somebody's good. And I could say, see here, it's being installed. We need this technical thing or this illustration, or we need more workers to dig into this, so they can see that, they can pray that, and we can wait on God to make it happen in His good time. So it's one of the ways. And so I'm being transparent, I'm being accountable, I'm being open, I'm being real. And I'm also showing people by my example how they could do something in their little world. Uh, uh, I'm modeling. I'm teaching by example. And they may or may not have an open workshop, and that's fine. They may keep their clothes because that's the way they want to do it. Fine, but at least they would see the. I'm fascinated, like at factories. I'm fascinated by the processes, and again, last thought is that thankfully, by the grace of God, my survival bills are covered nearly all until next month, which is because of my retirement, because I live in subsidized housing, I have food stamps. So I don't have to say, give me money or I'll die, I'll starve, the lights will be cut off. No, my basics are covered. I can make these videos. I made already 2 hours of these. I could make dozens of these, and on this free thing, just FYI, it's called webcam.io, free online service. So it's not software. It's being somehow recorded magically in the cloud. They upload it on the YouTube for free. They could put that on a blog for free. I could put that on Facebook for free, and I'm going to learn how to promote that for free. And then people are going to give me money, which is not free, but I'm just saying that my costs are so that they're giving to ministry. They're not giving. Some people get real squirrely about, well, you should have a job to pay your bills. Don't make me pay for your groceries. Okay, my groceries are covered. My rent's covered. My electricity's covered. My phone's covered. You're giving to ministry. And I need these hardware, software services to grow the ministry. So your money's going straight to ministry. That's probably just about enough, don't you say? I'm going to stop right there. Shalom.